care in this country or in the UK will never work properly until we have a national care system which works alongside the NHS system.
So when people go into start paying for care, they still don't understand how much money it's going to cost them, what they're going to have at the end of the day, if they will have anything. And I think it's one big worry that needs to be addressed.
You sign an agreement with the local authority, which is an open-ended one. You could end up paying anything the home demanded over and above what the local authority will agree to pay. Yeah. This is a terrible situation to be. You feel as if you're being threatened by the local authority. You do it our way, or we're not going to have any help at all.
I think there are some people who would go without the care that they need because it is too expensive.
Those areas where there aren't any buses, they need to be looking at certainly an integrated transport system which will enable older people particularly to have access to all the services.
They need to get out and about, and that extends their life. Otherwise they sit in the house and they vegetate. They're part of a community to be able to get out.
In the country where you are isolated, it's even more important. You're lucky if you live in a town and have a frequent bus service.
The sort of situations which have happened to two of my friends. One, upon breaking her leg, was told by her GP that he thought she was unlikely to live beyond 75 anyway. And another friend who, whenever she goes to see her GP, is asked the question, well, what do you expect at your age anyway?
I've seen an awful lot of new equipment introduced. It doesn't matter. The people who are looking after them are doing it as sort of mechanistically. People are lined up for the loo at 2 o'clock, one after the other. You know, they go in and they come out again and they put them in the chairs. It's a horrible thing to see.
People like to think that they're still part of society. They're getting the care and attention they need. And this is what makes a lot of older people not want to go into hospital to have treatment.
There are people I know are very hesitant to be bold and say, no, that's not the way I want to do it. And I think it's important that they should have somebody there to speak for them.
I'm the sort of person that I can defend myself and stand up for myself. But I am more concerned about the people that can't do that. And just in the area alone where I live, there's quite a few older people who were hiding behind the front door or the curtains. They will not come out and speak up for themselves. And this is not right in this day and age.
They need help from an advocate, and they need it because of their human rights. Because without it, they won't have their human rights. And as far as my father-in-law is concerned, he was a very gentle man. So he'd never complain about anything. And he would just have been overwhelmed by it all. He couldn't stand up for himself.
I think that public toilets are very important to older people because if they are not available, then a lot of people choose to stay home because they are afraid of having an accident while they're looking for a toilet.
I believe that public toilets are a lifeline, and certainly as people get older, the plumbing sometimes doesn't work as it should. People have ailments and difficulties, and this leads to them needing the toilet more often, say, than younger people. It's a matter of dignity then as to whether those are available for them.
There's only one word for it, they're a must. You can't go anywhere unless you know there's a toilet around. As you get older, it's not a point of hanging on. When you've got to go, you've got to go. So therefore it's essential that these toilets are made available and older people know exactly where they are. Age is just a number. There are no two ways about that. And
the truth of it is, we all age at different rates.
I know a 93-year-old who's travelling around the world every winter because he's on his own, and he pays through the nose for insurance, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with him. I know of older people who are a lot older than me and dance me off the floor. So everything depends on the individual, not on your actual age.
Yes, I think that the politicians particularly must listen to older people who've identified the problems, not only identified them, but have suffered by them, and realise when they retire that all is not well.
Will you take up our challenge?
Will you please take up our challenge?
Will you take up our challenge?
Will you take up the challenge?
Will you take up our challenge?
Please, will you take up our challenge, because where I am now, you are going to be in a few years' time.